Miner for that introduction, and greetings to my fellow graduates, esteemed faculty, beloved family and friends. Isn't it fantastic that all of us graduating today finally have a concrete answer to that question which has been hounding us for years? It's the usually well-meant, but often irritating, ceaseless refrain. When will you be finished? If I had $1 for each time my lovingly befuddled family and friends, or even a judgmental stranger, asked me when I would be done with graduate school, I could take all of that money and maybe afford to pay rent in the Bay Area. It's totally understandable that those closest to us might harbor a lot of confusion and misconceptions about how one becomes a bona fide scientist. Explaining what it means to have a PhD and the structureless, mysterious process of earning your doctorate is really pretty difficult to do. As we have all tirelessly struggled to explain, our graduate programs aren't simply a certain number of years long, nor a list of classes to complete or exams we must pass. It's not a clearly defined set of skills to master. In contrast to our esteemed MD colleagues, it's harder to characterize and to quantify what must be done to earn our PhDs. It even feels ambiguous when the university itself tries to clearly define our goal. The Stanford language on the official signature page for our dissertations asks our professors to certify that the thesis is, quote, fully adequate in scope and quality. I know what you're thinking, proud parents. That's my graduate up there, fully adequate in scope and quality. It's hard to define what must be done to receive your PhD because this process of learning how to generate a worthy contribution to science is an abstract and creative challenge. It's also a deeply personal training. No two PhD experiences are the same, and we all have unique stories that have culminated with us sitting on this stage today. However, despite our varied graduate experiences, when talking with many of my peers, a common theme to our PhD journey emerges. It's a narrative arc that resembles a story we are all familiar with, a Greek hero's mythical journey. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not calling us all heroes, but it does occur to me that we have all emerged from something like an epic quest. Like mythical protagonists in pursuit of our PhDs, we chose to leave the ordinary world behind and embark on an adventure of unknown scope. After much struggle and trials, or in our case, a series of annual trials we call committee meetings, the hero wins a decisive victory. She then returns home and shares the toils of her work to benefit society, having been herself forever transformed by the experience. The beginning of our journey started with a call to adventure. We arrived at Stanford from diverse backgrounds, filled with excitement and anticipation. We came to follow a shared passion for problem solving, an insatiable curiosity, a love of evidence and experimentation, and the aspiration to improve society and human health through scientific understanding. 6 years ago at the white lab coat ceremony during orientation, I remember marveling at how extraordinarily talented all my new classmates were. Everyone seemed so confident, at least on the surface. Like a Greek myth, perhaps there was a little bit of hubris in the face of the gods of nature. Sure, graduate school is going to be pretty tough, some of us thought, but all I have to do is uncover an important unsolved question and then arm wrestle the true answer out of the universe without any guarantee of success or graduation. What could possibly go wrong? We joined our thesis labs and set off boldly in pursuit of our carefully selected goals. And before you know it, you've been thrown into the darkness, groping blindly in search of new knowledge. At times, undirected research can feel a lot like floundering in the abyss, a realm better known to us PhD students as years 2 through 4, and let's be real, for the majority of us, years 5 and 6. During this time, we embraced great uncertainty and learned from our repeated failures. We were deeply humbled by the difficulty of our epic challenge to generate something wholly new and valuable. Some deflating moments were funny, like that time you had to use the emergency eye wash, or got caught snoozing on your advisor's office couch. One of you shared that once, when trying to schedule a committee meeting, you mistakenly emailed out a link to a pair of padded mountain biking shorts you were thinking about buying, rather than the link to your scheduling poll. We broke priceless lab equipment, accidentally ruined our colleagues' experiments, and experienced horrifying bouts of verbal diarrhea in front of Nobel Prize winners. Other challenges were more discouraging and significant setbacks. We were confronted with the tough decision to scrap entire projects. Some of us changed labs, others got scooped, and seemingly all of us fielded endless criticisms of varying validity from reviewer number 3. Some among us spent weeks that turned into months, that turned into seasons, troubleshooting a single critical experiment. Overcoming the trials presented on your path to becoming an independent scientist requires legendary perseverance, digging deep to draw on all of your grit reserves, and then pushing along when you thought the reservoir of your courage and passion had been fully tapped. Just when our Greek hero is the most lost and battered, he receives some supernatural assistance. Similarly, at those moments when we thought we might give up, we were vitally sustained by support from our invaluable mentors, colleagues, and loved ones. We benefited from countless hours of helpful discussions, all-nighters spent with friends writing and revising proposals, a second set of helping hands on an unwieldy experiment. To the many special people who have championed us along the way, your encouragement buoyed our spirits and your advice and ideas inspired us. You helped us to find a way to move forward as we solved just one problem at a time, and then the next one, and the next one after that. And so, with enough hard and careful work, and lots of essential help along the way, eventually there comes a turning point in every student's journey, a breakthrough, some small but meaningful victory in your ongoing struggle with nature. It's the moment when you see something that no one has ever observed before, a lightning bolt of clarity that generates a new hypothesis, the indescribably joyful feeling you get when some new data gives you a glimpse of the answer that you've been questing after. The end result of all your trials is a precious nugget of freshly unearthed knowledge. When you return victorious from your PhD journey and share your piece of the puzzle with the broader scientific community, your discovery becomes a part of the larger story of scientific progress. And your discoveries have been truly amazing. In our 2016 PhD class, there is a student whose thesis work revealed a specific population of neurons whose activity can influence risk-seeking animals to instead settle for less risky choices, with major implications for understanding the biological basis of complex human behavior. One of our classmates discovered a set of genes that dengue virus relies upon to infect human cells, laying the groundwork for future therapeutics against this escalating infectious threat. Yet another among us found that when cells experience mechanical forces like stretching, key molecules translate this physical signal into genetic activity that dictates fundamental cellular decisions of growth and division, a new insight on how cells incorporate information from the world around them. I could go on and on. No matter the perceived impact of your PhD work, once shared, your discovery will take on an unpredictable life of its own. It will forever be a part of our collective effort to untangle the awesome mysteries of nature. Ultimately, in the larger world beyond Stanford, solving the most important problems facing society will look a lot like our PhD quest. Ill-defined in nature, characterized by extreme complexity, and will require a long time to solve. The professional journeys ahead of us are no doubt as diverse as our theses have been. Graduates of today's PhD class will go on to become leaders in academia and the private sector, in government and in nonprofits. Whatever epic challenges face you next, the experience of earning your doctorate has forever transformed you and prepared you well for success tackling unstructured problems. I have no words of wisdom about our future to share, but I'll conclude instead with some wishes for my fellow graduates. I hope that today you take pause and celebrate what the journey towards achieving your PhD has cultivated within you. I hope you'll reflect on the profound joy of having contributed uniquely to the ever-expanding realm of human knowledge. The famous neuroscientist Santiago Ramon y Cajal expressed this sentiment eloquently when he observed that a scientist is capable of all sorts of sacrifices to achieve the noble dream of giving birth to some new star in the firmament of knowledge. We can all contribute a grain of sand to the imposing monument of progress if we truly resolve to do so. I'll also wish you luck coming up with answers to the next set of pestering questions heading our way. Like, what are you going to do with your life? And is a postdoc a real job yet? Thank you, and congratulations again to all of the graduates today and their proud families.